Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, Ned from Nev's Tech Bits, or as others have pointed out, Denny from the room. Anyways, today I want to talk about Bitcoin, why it's going to be doing so good, and why it's technically only doing good because everything else is doing bad. Now, we got new generations of people coming in, finding new ways of doing things. Much of the modern banking has been pretty much created over the last 100 years. Just like this digital renaissance, just like this manufacturing renaissance that started probably from around World War I and onwards. The world has changed so much since World War I that most people don't even recognize things before or don't even understand what went on before World War I and what it was like before then. Everything's changing at an exponential rate. Banks have risen up out of the ashes. Banks have figured out how to do things. Wall Street has changed. Everything has changed. And the old people have learned how to game the system. The old people have had children who they've given their power to. Their children have been given power, and their children have been given power. USA is now an oligarchy. I'm not so sure about Canada, but the fact that the Federal Reserve in the USA is not part of the government, is not owned by the government, and the government cannot enter into it is just mind-blowing. The United States government, the President of the United States cannot enter the United States Federal Reserve. We got a lot of weird stuff going on here. Now, an oligarchy is when a bunch of people at the very top, like the aristocrats, I'm throwing a lot of big words around here, let's just say the better human beings. So in communism, everyone's supposed to be equal, but some people are more equal than others. Let's face it, it's the same way over here. We got some people who are better than others, and they're damn near better human beings. The more money you have, the more you can do. If you have money, you can be a better human being by giving your money away. So we have rich criminals out there that nobody's going to touch. We have rich corporations out there that are never going to get hit with anything, because if you hit them and if you take them down, you take down the whole damn country, because they're no longer based off the gold standard. They're based off GDP, and they're based off the NASDAQ, which is the output that the country has and also the strength of the companies putting out that output. You don't touch those companies. You don't touch their strength. Because if you do, you will be nailed to the ground, sirs and ma'ams. But if they mess with you, they can get away with it. Because these corporations and companies, which have human status and treated like humans, are more important than humans. We have an insane thing going on, even in Canada, when it comes to the cost of healthcare. There is something very wrong with what's going on here. But the wrongness has gotten us so far. My daughter can hear. My daughter lost the ability to hear, but through the way we did things, we can input something into her head. She has a cochlear implant. We've gotten this far. You know how much it costs to install that in the USA? To make a baby here? $100,000. $100,000. Just recently, she broke her battery. It cost me about $300 to install this battery. Now, when I went out, okay, I'm going to bring everything back together here, but I'm pointing out the issues that we have. Yes, we have enriched our society. Yes, we have rich people within our society. We definitely do. But it's getting harder and harder to climb the chain. It's getting harder and harder to go out there to get a job and to master it. Like, at least in my area, if someone has an idea, they get a storefront, they get a job, you feel bad for them because they're not going to be around much longer. It just goes back to the big fish. It goes back to the big box stores. Anyways, the next generation is coming in, and we don't like the way this game is played. We don't like what's going on very much. We're looking around at all of this stuff, all of these businesses coming up, all of these banks throwing crazy charges in my face. I have to pay $1.50, $2, $3. I have to pay that money in order to get money from a bank. These banking charges are insane, and banks are making a phenomenal amount of money off of this stuff. It used to be that if you could work, if you wanted to work, if you wanted to go to school, you could support yourself in school by having a summer job. That is no longer the thing. Now we have institutions that are there to educate you. These places are there to educate you, but they're more interested in the financial gain. And once they get you out there, you're only good to flip burgers. We have a school system that has you for 12 years. 12 years. And when you're done that, all you can do is flip burgers. There's something wrong with that. There is intrinsically something wrong with the way things are right now. Things are awesome, but it's sketchy. It's dirty. And if you're not part of the game, if you don't know the right people, you can't get into it. So, us internet people, this is how I see it. Us internet people, we started our own game. We can't win your game anymore because your grandparents, your family, your friends are all part of this game. And you're not letting us play. So we'll just find another lot and we'll go play somewhere else. We'll accept our own Bitcoin. We'll accept our own currency. We'll just play somewhere else. But that is what I see going on so often. When I was growing up, I used to think, I will get by on my merits. I will get a job based off what I know. And I will get a job based off how hard I work. And then I get out in the workplace and I find out it's all about who you know. People have to have faith in you. People have to know you. People have to trust you. And people have to like being around you when they're inside work and when they're drinking outside. If you can't drink with the big guys and be, ha ha ha, ho ho ho, we're good buddies, you're not going to have that job. So it kind of makes me feel unfortunate for a lot of females, because it can be really hard to enter this social group, oligarchy. I can't have the job I want because I'm not in a certain group. And this stuff actually happens. This actually happens. I mean, there's so many situations where certain people just get the job because they know somebody, not because of how good they are at their jobs. Oligarchy. This happens all over the place. And one thing I wish I could go back and tell myself, my young self, is it does matter who likes you. It definitely matters who likes you. It matters not so much if you're a good person, not so much, but how much you can bring in, for the company. And it's just kind of sad. And that is why I believe that new innovations coming out, that things like Bitcoin are going to go through the roof, because we can't compete with your old man, old style insider trading BS. We don't got nothing there. We got a whole generation of kids coming up trying to play your old man games, your old pass down money to the next guy, to the people at the very top getting the tax breaks, the trickle down effect that was brought out by Reaganomics. Reagan brought this stuff out, and he had everyone called it Reaganomics because he had no idea what the frick he was doing. He just like, oh yeah, this has got to work this way because all my rich friends say it. But you know what? One problem that we have is the rich hold their money. They hold it, and they don't do anything with it. The Great Depression, 25% unemployment rate. That's not a big deal. The issue was the Federal Reserve was not releasing more money, and people who had money weren't releasing money. They weren't spending money. They had to have a big frickin' war, World War II, in order to scare everybody to actually start using their money. Everyone was just saving their money way too much. All that I see when I look around, all that I see is the old man's game. And they're gaming the system. And we got young people coming up. You damn near need a college education to figure out, just in life, to figure out how to live, how to invest. I don't know nothing about taxes. We could have an easy tax system, but H&R Block, and this is true, H&R Block and other corporate or companies like that want to make taxing hard. The government knows exactly how much money I make. The government could send me that information on a piece of paper, and then I could just say, okay, well, I'm going to write off this, this, and this, this, and this. But no, I have to get all my stuff together, get some fancy magic stuff going down, tell H&R Block what's going on, or to tell the government what's going on, what they already know about me. My bank gives them information on this stuff. Being alive now seems easier, physically, but mentally, way harder than it ever used to be. And we got so much corruption. We got so much oligarchy BS going on, so many people hiring and giving all their huge amounts of money, vast wealth to their kids, that we need a new game. And people online are finding a new game. And we found one. With Bitcoin, this is our game now. You can't game this stuff. We mine it. We know where the money goes. The money goes, and we're happy with that. We don't need this kind of junk that we got right now. So things are definitely going to change. But that's why Bitcoin's going to do good. We have problems. We've come a long way. We still have problems. We have a whole bunch of people that are more interested in making money than they are for the good of the people. Maybe not for mankind, but for the good of the individual people. And if people just take their ball and go home, we're going to find things like Bitcoin. And we're going to take our ball and go home. And this is, I believe, the first step into doing this stuff. Anyways, that's it for me. Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. Like and subscribe if you like this stuff. Thanks for listening to my rant, folks. I'll catch you later. Take care of each other.